name is Denisse Coghlan, and I began my life overseas in Papua New Guinea, where we founded the first high school for women, and then I volunteered for the refugee camps in Thailand. So my first memories of Phnom Penh were that it was a very much unfree society. It was a one-party communist system, and you were forbidden to gather. So at one stage, I didn't think I was committing any big sin, but I had called a meeting for peace. And the next morning, the house was surrounded by police in civil clothes, and I was hauled before the foreign minister, and told very firmly you could talk about war, but not about peace. I don't think you really think of yourself as a leader, but think of yourself as a person having responsibility. So we had a big team, so everybody was given the option of leaving Cambodia at the time of the coup or staying. And we all chose to stay. And in fact, one journalist, when the journalists were allowed in, landed on my front door with his camera one morning and said, "Why do you think you're so important that you have to stay?" That was the question he asked me. And I said, no, that's not where we're staying. We're staying to be in solidarity with the Cambodian people who can't run away. Getting the treaty in Ottawa on the 3rd of October, that was the real prize, but then winning the Nobel Peace Prize enhanced the work. And we had very good leaders in the campaign, like Jody Williams, who was the coordinator. Well, Princess Diana was important along the way too, because she was such a public figure and so beautiful. We wanted the survivors to tell their own stories, and we felt that if they had a public space to tell their stories, this would make a difference to leaders. This kid was born in the refugee camp, and now he's here working for us. That's our first picture. The four of us when we first came. That's some of our first friends, one of the people we found in the village who'd been lying on his mat since Pol Pot. That's the first train coming back after the refugees. We really purposely chose to have a team that was Buddhist and Christian, people who had disability and people who didn't, people who'd been refugees and people who hadn't, women and men, international and national. So we had all those differences to weld together into one team. But the common overriding motivation, I think, was what Cambodians call metta karuna or metta karuna, a kind of a loving compassion, which is very strong in both Buddhist and Christian religions. So that was enough to motivate. The team certainly didn't do it for salaries, because we didn't have much money and we didn't pay big salaries. That's very, very clear. And yet some of them are still here with us 28 years later. Many NGOs say they have a problem of turnover of staff. Well, we don't have that problem. For me, leadership's about creating a community of love and welcome and hospitality. And it's the community that strengthens, the team that strengthens all of the people in it, including the one with the responsibility to make the decisions.